everyone, it's Di here from Diane, and this week I'd like to show you how I made this box. Now this is my prototype, so it's all done with, well, everything I'm going to make today is with retired, but this is very old paper. So this opens up like this, and it will hold 6 cards and envelopes, so you can give it away as a lovely gift box, or I reckon you'd fit a box of chocolates in there, or a nice silk scarf, or if it's for a man you could put some cigars or something in there. I don't know many people that smoke cigars these days, but I know years ago, like when I was a kid, men used to smoke cigars when they were like Christmas time and stuff like that. So, or you could do it in a really lovely Christmas paper and put your Christmas present in that. So it's a great thing for all sorts of seasons. I'm going to do mine in some old Christmas paper, but I'm going to do it so that I can send it to my friend in the UK with some cards that I've made. So as part of her Christmas box, I always do a big parcel up for her for Christmas. So let me show you how to make this, and it's really easy. Okay, so this is all we need. We need a card base, and this measures 9 1/8 by 7 1/4, and then, excuse my stomach if you can hear it growling, 2 pieces for the lid that measure 7 3/8 by 6 1/2, and then we need 2 pieces of designer paper that measure 3 1/2 by 4 3/8, and 2, so as you can see this is beautiful paper from a few years back, and 2 other pieces that measure 4 3/8 by 1 1/8, and you'll need approximately about 24 inches of ribbon. Now I've got some ribbon that is current in the new catalogue. This is actually cherry cobbler and gold, so that's really pretty. So, and I'm going to be using the tailor-made tags, so I have a tag to put on the front of mine. So I think I showed these once before. These tags come in a set of 4 different sizes and 2 different shapes, with the reinforcing rings for the hole in the top here, which I've got 1 here. They come with, you cut out 4 at a time, so I've got 3 others that I'll be putting away, and I did the same when I did this one. It comes with 3, so I put the other 2 away, so that when I need them again I've got them. So I'll be using those, and I'm going to be using, let's see, this set called Create with Friends, and I'm going to put Friends on here because I'm sending this to my friend in the UK, and I might even put Forever Friends, yes, Forever. So let's put the Forever on there as well. We have been friends forever. We've been friends since we were 5 years old, so this is really a lovely idea for me to give to her for part of her Christmas box. So, and the tag came out of a piece of card that measured, look at this, it even fell apart, that's how bad it was. 3 7/8 by, well, it didn't even need to be this wide, but this was 2 3/4 inches. And then for my other piece here, this was only 1 7/8 by 2 inches. So, and I have a brad so that I can pop that onto there. So let's start with, I'm just going to glue this little tag bit onto this, onto here. That way it's got, where did it go? Oh no, I don't know where that went. Did you see where it went? Oh no, I didn't. Well, let's get another one. There we go. Let's do this again. Oh, that one went too, but I found that one. The other one's probably on my floor, and because my carpet is black in here, which is not good for crafting on, I'll tell you. So I'll pop that on there out of the way ready, and we will start with all our scoring and making our cards. So let's pop the lid on my glue, my pin in my glue for a bit, because we don't need that for a bit. Okay, so let's bring in our scoreboard, and we're going to score our main card on the long side, well, on all four sides at 1 3/8. 1 3/8 of an inch. So we're going 1 3/8, turn, 1 3/8, turn, 1 3/8, turn, and 1 3/8. That way we know that we've got them all nice and even. So we'll make up the base of our box first, and then we will go from there. So using my tin snips, I was going to say, my snips, whoops, let's start. We're going to chop this up just on the right on the line up to the next score line here, and we're going to wedge that in on both sides. And we're going to do that on all four corners in the same way. Oops, need to move that one off a bit more. That's better. It doesn't have to be much of a wedge, it's just so that when you fold it, it actually folds in nicely. So right on the score line, just in and in on the four sides, like so. Okay, so once we've done that, we'll get rid of all our pieces of scrap, and we will now fold and burnish all these score lines. So let's start with folding and burnishing all these lovely score lines that we did, and I've got a little bit of a tag piece here, so let's just chop that off because we don't want that showing. That's it. Now with this card, on my written tutorial, I've done an optional extra, which I'm not going to do here, that you can actually put another piece of card over the back of this, so that this piece here, these joins here, don't show. But that's optional extra, but I'm not going to do that today here, so we'll just carry on as normal. But I thought I'd let you know so that you wonder what that is if you download my tutorial. And we're going to bring these up and form the box. Making sure that the corners are nice and square. By doing that, everything will sit nice and square. Oops. And that's our base of our box. So let's pop that on one side, and that can now dry nicely while we get on with the rest of the box. So now with our other two pieces, what we need to do is bring in our scoreboard again, and we're going to score both of these identically. So on the long side, which is the 7 3/8 side, we're going to score this, let's move that one out of the way, at 1 3/8. Yep, 1 3/8 and 6 inches. So let's move that one out of the way, and we'll do the same on this one so we've got them the same. So on the long side, which is the 7 3/8 side, 7 3/8, we're going to score this at 1 3/8 and 6 inches. Now we're going to turn this to the short side, which is the 6 1/2 inch side, and we're going to score this at 1 3/8 and 2 3/4. So let's do that again on the short side, which is the 6 1/2 inch side. We're going to score this at 1 3/8 and 2 3/4. So that's all our scoring done. And now what we're going to do is we're going to cut these like so. We're going to cut up this one and we're going to cut this piece away on the corner. Right on the corner, we're going to cut that one away on on both of them. Come on, get off of there. So we're going to do that on this one as well at the same time. And now what we're going to do is we're going to actually just trim this one just a smidgen, come here, on both sides. Now the reason you do that is so that it fits onto the box. So just inside the score line, just to cut that off like so on both of these. Like so. Okay, so while we've done that, now we're going to trim this one, wedge that one in, cut that one straight. So cut this one straight and we'll wedge this one in. This is all starting to look a bit complicated, but it's really not. So we're going to straight cut that one and wedge this one. So wedge the side that's already cut away and straight on the other one. Okay, so that's all of that cutting we're going to do. So let's move all of them. And now what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our trimmer and we're going to trim these. So what we're going to do is we're going to move these ones out of the way. These two that we've just, these two little flaps, we can move them out of the way and we can actually burnish those down on both of them. Let's do that on this one as well, because we want them right out of the way. And what we're going to do next is we're going to pop this into the trimmer so that this top edge, the furthest away, comes in the track here, and the bottom at the score line is in the track here, and we're going to cut that on that angle like so. And we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So from the outside it's going to be at there, and trim that bit off like so. So our piece now looks, let's pop those sides out like so. So on this score line, it's got two lines that are virtually the same size at 1 3/8, and then on this big section with these side ones, starting at the outside, we bring it in to the side. So let's do that again. So we have our two sections here, our large section, and at the end of the beginning of the large section and at the end of the large section. So we bring it from the outside onto the inside. And again on this one, it's from the outside onto the inside. And that's all our cutting done, except for a little bit more trimming in a second. So let's pop that out of the way. And I didn't bring a pencil over with me, so I might just go and get my pencil. I'll be back in half a tick. There we go, I have my pencil with me. And that's a Microsoft pencil, would you believe? So now what we're going to do is we're going to fold and burnish all these score lines. I always find that cherry cobbler is always very, very stiff. It must be the the what do you call it, the dye they use. It must really soak into the paper, because all this seems so much thicker than all the other paper, or card I should say. Okay, so once we've done that, what we're going to do next is we're actually going to just bring this in like so, and we're going to just put that up to the edge like it should be, nice and square on that edge, and we're just going to draw a line. I don't know, you can't see what I'm doing off here. Let me pop that up. Draw a line along that edge there, like so. Can you see that on there? Just I think, yes. And then we're going to trim that piece away. Like so. And then we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. I'm going to bring that in like this, nice and square, and drawing our line across that section there. Whoops. I'm going to just chop that piece away as well. So we'll do that on the other two pieces. Now it doesn't matter if you go a little bit smaller. It's better to be a little bit smaller than a little bit larger. So let's do that once more. Bring that piece on the inside, nice and square. Let's lay that down like that so you can see, and just draw a line across that piece there and chop that piece off. And then we're going to do the other side the same, nice and square, and cut that piece off. So we can now just once we've done that, we can now just take that little wedge off of the other side, just so that when it sits in there, it will sit in nice and neatly. Okay, so now what we need is our double-sided tape, because it's better to do all of this while this is still laying flat. So we know that this piece here in the middle now measures 4 5/8, so I'm going to just eyeball this. So I'm just going to eyeball this through the middle here, but not right up against this edge here, this score line, because your designer series paper is going, you don't want that showing. And I'm going to just pop a piece there of this double-sided tape, and once again we don't want it right up against this edge here, because of when we put our designer paper on there, we don't want to be seen. Okay, on that one, and then on this one we're going to do the same, but we're going to just pop this on top like so, because we only want to put it on this piece here, so that we know that it's in the line. And again, we only want it within that, because we're going to put designer series paper there. And so we've got our two pieces, so that's the way they're going to be sitting on our piece. So this piece is a little bit long. I'm going to actually pull this one back a tiny bit. So we're going to need about 10 or 12 inches of ribbon. I'm going to do I think I'm going to do 12 inches of ribbon. I can always trim it off later. Okay, so we need two pieces, so we're going to pop one piece over the top of this one, and then we're going to pull backing off of this one. Let's pop those two pieces into the rubbish bin, and we're going to pop our other piece onto the top of this one like so. Okay, and now we're going to pop our pieces of designer series paper onto our pieces. So let's do that. I didn't put my pin in this and it's dried out. It's quite warm today, even though we're still in August here when I'm doing this. We've got a beautiful sunny day out there today. It's a shame that I don't have any windows in my room here. Okay, so we're going to pop this onto here, like so. Now let's pop that one out of the way, and with this one we need to make sure this is out of the way because we don't want to stick it underneath on this side. So we need to make sure it's out of the way while we put our piece of designer series paper on this larger section. We move it over the top of the designer series paper now, and then pop our other piece onto the box covering our designer series paper. And that's why we need to have that, we don't have it showing out of the ends here, because you don't want your designer, your ribbon sticking out the end there. It's going to look yucky. So from my point of view, the one with the little bit out of here is on my left hand side, and the other one with the big pieces on my right hand side. Now it's up to you which way around you do then. There is no right or wrong. So now what we're going to do is we are going to glue our sides around to make a nice corner on each of them. And because we've cut them away nicely, they're going to sit in there really, really nicely, like so. That one. And then this one's the same. We have 4 beautiful corners like so. So we'll just give those a few seconds to dry. While they're drying, I'm going to put my Friends Forever on there. So let me put my pin in my glue so it doesn't dry out again before we get to where we're going. My pin is so bent. I bought some new ones and I haven't started using them yet. I'm being really slack. So let's bring these in. I'm going to just stamp these in Memento. And I'm going to put the Friends Forever. There we go. How gorgeous does that look? I think she's going to love this. So that's our 2 pieces now. Whoops, my side's not stuck there. Mine's did. I'm going to... Yep, that's sticking now. It just felt like it didn't want to. So I'm going to stick a hole in this one about here so that I can pop my Friends Forever tag on here. With my, oh gosh, I can't even see this to do this, and I've got my glasses on as well. Tag that will go across on that angle once we're ready to put this together. So I think I've got that in the right spot, so let's move that out of the way for a minute. Let's bring in the main part of the box. And we're going to pop this across the box like so, so we can see how this goes. Oh dear, I didn't pop that in the right place. You know what? I'm going to pop that out, and I'll do that after. Luckily, because of where it is, you're not going to see that anyway. So let's do that after. There we go. So as you can see, by cutting that down, it fits onto the back here really, really nicely. So popping that upside down after you've got them on there, pushing them down nice and tightly, we're going to now pop this back like so, and we're going to pop some nice glue along these sections and glue them into place. Over like so, and then we can do the other side. Like so. Turn that over and open it up, and we can then press down nicely onto that, like so. While that's sticking, I'll just pop my glue in, pin in my glue again. Oh, get in there. That's it. Let's use my foam folder just to make sure that's stuck down nice and neatly. And pop that over. We can tie our ribbon. And because that's going to be covered and nobody will see that, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put it on this side. So just be a bit more careful than me and don't do a hole in the wrong spot. I know my friend won't mind because I'll put something on that. I'll put a nice little thing over the top of it, which you'll see in the photograph afterwards. So let's pop that back in there. Tie my bow. Which I'm not very good at tying, but I will get there. There. It doesn't look right, but you know what I mean. Let's see. Let's try this again, shall we? Oh. There we go. Trim the ends. And there's our project for today. As I say, that will hold 6 beautiful cards that you've made for a nice gift for somebody, and envelopes to match. And if not, you could put, I reckon you could fit a nice silk scarf in there, a box of chocolates, anything you wanted to for a gift. I think this is absolutely a gorgeous box, and it's so easy to make. I hope you'll give it a go. I'd love to see your creation if you're on my Facebook group. If you're not on my Facebook group and you would like the written tutorial for this, please head over to Diane for Stamping, Crafting and Tutorials. There you will find the written tutorial. It is in inches as well as centimetres, and you'll find the link down the bottom here. So I hope you've enjoyed today's project. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. Tell your friends to come join in the fun at our group on Facebook as well as on my YouTube here. And I'll see you again next week. Bye for now.